Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm Nancy from American Pet Professionals, and welcome back to another episode of our live show, Digging into the Pet Industry. We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook as well. So, wherever you're watching from, thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you're listening to a future podcast episode, thanks so much for listening. So today we have a fun episode. I'm so happy to bring on APP member Dawn Vandaveer of Pet Friendly Fun. Welcome, Dawn.
Hi, everybody. And Nancy, thank you for having me on the program. And I apologize if we hear Clyde in the background. He wants to be part of it, but he's not allowed.
That's okay. Listen, it's totally the pet industry. We don't mind dogs barking, cats crawling across the screen. It's all good. It adds to the ambiance of our show.
That's right. We are authentic. It is all about the pets, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you're here. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about: pet friendly fun, pet events, and all the cool things that you do. But I always like to take a step back with our guests and really kind of start where you began your career. What did you do before the pet industry? I would love to know.
So my background has been kind of marketing, special events, and then print and direct mail. So so kind of really all those tactile marketing and engagement marketing background.
So that's kind of cool because you have that marketing background and special events. It kind of lends into what you do at Pet Friendly Fun. So what led you to the pet industry with having that marketing background?
I think I've always been a lot of people in the pet industry. We've always had pets in our lives, and other people used to babysit. I used to pet sit. I used to take care of my neighbor's rabbits and all of that. And it's just always been pets have always been a part of my life. And I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then decided, nope, that's not my personality.
Right.
And it's just this Pet Friendly Fun has kind of evolved, and that's kind of what I'm doing.
So when did you start Pet Friendly Fun?
It's really kind of started as a project, and it's evolving into a business. So it's something that I used to always compile lists of all the events that were going on. A lot of my clients would want to know, hey, I want to reach pet owners. Where do I go? And then at one point I'm like, well, why don't I just, after emailing it all the time, and I was like, why don't I just make a website? Right. And then now I'm adding different categories, and we just want to be hyper local about the state of Arizona, but Tucson and Southern Arizona in particular, because we are, even though we are very hot sometimes, it's still an extremely pet-friendly state. And Tucson and Southern Arizona specifically, we always land in the top 10 of the most pet-friendly venues.
Wow. So when did you start? When did you launch your website?
I think 2016.
Oh, okay. So a while ago. So you've been around for a while. So people know to go to your website in Arizona to look for the pet events, see what's happening, what's coming up this weekend. Yeah. Very cool. And so, what was it about pet friendliness that drew you to start this business out of it?
I think when I had driven cross country with my golden retriever in 2000 after 9/11, because flights were grounded. And at that point, it was really, you knew you could stay at a La Quinta, you knew you could stay at a few places, but you really kind of had to navigate where you were going. And so it's kind of out of that experience as well that people are looking for places to go. Where can I go if I'm visiting Arizona? I don't want to leave my dog in the hotel room or in the RV. Where are my pet friendly patios? Where can I go grab a beer with my dog? Where can I actually go shop with my dog?
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. So you definitely were a mother of was necessity of invention, right?
Yeah,
or necessity of invention. Yeah, I always say that saying wrong. But it's true because driving across country, even up to 5 years ago, there really were not that many places to go. Now it's getting a lot better. But I still see the you could come stay at a hotel if you have a 50-pound and under dog. And golden retrievers are usually a little bit more than 50 pounds.
This is true. Yeah, I think what I found interesting, and this is a while ago, I think because more people are traveling with pets, that they're starting to enforce more of the policies. Because I remember when I traveled with Bogey, literally one place charged me a fee, and no one cared about the weight limits. And probably it helped you as a fluffy golden retriever, and everybody was like, oh, can I pet him? Can I?
Yeah, you could have 10 little dogs that equal 80 pounds. But what if you have one 80-pound golden retriever? I know. So my dog Cody has been to a lot of hotels, fancy hotels, on road trips or been invited. So it's interesting that you say that you feel like they're cracking down a little bit more now.
Mhm.
I would be curious to any of my other pet travelers, people that travel with their pets, if that is the case as well. I personally haven't found that, but we
Mhm.
also haven't traveled much since the
Mhm.
pandemic. But prior to that, he was in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And I hate when they label pet friendly and they're not really pet friendly.
Right. That happens a lot in the apartment industry as well. And I
Yeah.
kind of misspoke. They are still accepting, but they didn't charge. Only one place charged me a fee.
Pet fee.
Everybody let them come in. But now they are really, and because it's a revenue stream, so they're
Yeah.
enforcing pet fee. But that's what I meant to say. I just not.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I don't mind the fee if it's like for cleaning, like that's fine with me. But it's the limitation on sizes, which really makes no sense in my opinion. If you have a well-behaved 100-pound dog, nobody's gonna know that your hundred
right.
pound dog is in there. Like it's just, especially people that travel and compete in sports and stuff like that with their pets. There a
Right.
lot of them are doing that. Some of them are in RVs, but a lot of them need, pet-friendly hotels. And
Mhm.
like La Quinta and Red Roof are like some of the places that you usually see, but maybe it's not
Mhm.
the place that you want to stay at if you're on vacation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Let's hope they keep expanding that. And I have heard good results from people who have canine good citizen approved
Hmm.
pets, and that really kind of just knocks all the barriers out because you've invested in training your dog is well behaved. And yes, a couple of 10-pound dogs can do a lot more sometimes than a 100-pound dog.
Right. 100-pound dog is more likely sleeping.
Right. That's true.
But yeah, it's so true. So the CGC, which is a canine good citizen test that you can take all over the country, and your dog has to go through different steps in the test to become that canine good citizen. Cody was supposed to go last week, but I had to reschedule for his. I'm sure he'll pass, but I just thought it would be a fun thing to do for him. My Doberman had it. She also had a registered therapy dog. So, if you're somebody that travels a lot, I think that's, something that I'm glad that you brought that up that people should look into. Um, so what do you do at Pet Friendly Fun? I was looking at your website, perusing it a bit and seeing some of the stuff, but what services do you offer with your website, with your business?
So it is a work in progress. And I think when we talked a while ago, the launch was supposed to happen in November. And you know how that happens. It won't be until January now. But there will be a lot more listings and resources and also a blog like, hey, I'm in Prescott for the day. What can I do with my dog? So more itinerary based things. And then also in 2024, we're going to be doing a bit more of a roadshow. So going to
Oh,
different events throughout the area, and actually probably going to Michigan for the Dog Bowl in May,
oh,
and
fun.
promoting. So those different areas where we as have visitors into our area who travel here, and to encourage our destination as a pet friendly donation doing a roadshow. So there'll be pop-ups with different local vendor merchandise that people can purchase, and then also spreading the goodwill about travel to Arizona. It's a great place to bring your pet.
That's incredible. Are you working with any of the tourism travel boards in Arizona to do that?
Yeah. So I just last one. So also kind of in my back, I did display advertising. So I worked in niche tourism publications. So
Okay.
things are kind of all morphing together. I did just last month get CTA, Certified Tourism Ambassador certified.
Oh,
So
congratulations. That's
thanks.
amazing.
So I'm working again with this like Southern Arizona Attractions Alliance, Visit Tucson, all the different entities in our
Yeah,
state.
yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, and if anybody is involved with them watching us, you have to reach out to Dawn because that's incredible. You're bringing tourism dollars to your state by showing all the cool pet-friendly things that you guys can do. I really think that's so cool going on tour.
Right.
Awesome. We also have one of our members, Beth Miller, who's all about pet friendly also, who is watching. She's commenting on LinkedIn. So hi Beth, thank you for watching and and chiming in. So what is your ultimate goal with Pet Friendly Fun?
To build it into the Arizona pet friendly tourism guide, if you will.
Yes, yes, I love that. I love that. That's such a great goal. Do you guys have like booklets and stuff like that they mail out, or is there anything that you can be on their website?
Not yet. That is coming.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, there
Because
will
like
be a little passport that has the different restaurants and bars and
oh,
venues that you can go, and different retail shops. You'll get your passport stamped.
I love that. I
That's
love
really
that.
cute.
Instead of a passport, a
Yeah.
passport.
That was on the plan, but then COVID hit and everything shut down. So now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we're all traveling again. We're
Yes.
getting used to doing all of our outdoor events and getting used to this new weather shift too. Because for
Yes.
us, the outdoor events, it really impacts us
Yeah.
is with dogs.
Yeah.
The pavement is just way too hot. So there are
Right.
only
So you're
certain
doing your events in the winter, like in Florida as well, when in
Mhm.
the Northeast we're doing our events in the spring and the fall and some in the summer, but that's interesting. Very cool. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to see what your progress is with that. When you're speaking of doing like destinations like restaurants or anything like that, do you work with any of the restaurants and like helping them become more pet friendly and anything like that?
That's a really good point. I should probably add that to a list of offerings. I like
Yes.
that. I do just kind of through casual conversations and talk about it. A lot of our places are just so good. We have Borderlands Brewing. They actually have doggy beer on tap. It's self-serve. And so people can go, but it's so fun to learn and see what others are doing and then share what you've learned as well. And different
Yeah, you
ideas.
could be like a consultant in offering like what you could do for pet friendliness because a lot of times they'll just open the doors, but maybe not necessarily have the wherewithal or the knowledge of like what to do to be a successful pet friendly business and or safe, right?
Right.
So yeah, yeah,
That's a big one.
very cool. So when you host events, what do you host? What are the main events that you host?
So we're launching in April. This is actually through a nonprofit, Halo Dogs, that I'm on the board of. And so we are doing our first unicorn PAWty for Unicorn Day. That is April 9th, but that's a Tuesday. So we're having it on Sunday at a pet-friendly retail boutique, and they have a nice little courtyard in the back. So we're going to have a unicorn costume party,
Love it.
caricatures. It's just going to be a lot of rainbow unicorn and glitter. And some of my friends, especially my sustainability friends, are like, no, not glitter. We hate it, but
Right, right.
in moderation.
I wonder if there's pet-friendly glitter out there or environmentally friendly glitter that, will biodegrade. If anybody knows of anybody, comment in the comment section.
Let me know because I
I'm
absolutely
sure
want to
there
innovate
is.
that.
That would be a pretty cool addition, right? Maybe they could
Yeah.
become a sponsor of the glitter sponsor.
That's right. I found the biodegradable for the human contact cocktails, the
Oh,
biodegradable glitter, but
yeah.
I don't know if it's pet safe yet. I haven't
All right, all
ordered
right.
my sample.
Very cool. So I want to chime in on that. The fact that you're doing something that is completely off the cuff, right?
Mhm.
Unicorn Day is what most pet business owners do not think of. When I worked in PR back in the day, we had a book
Yep.
like this thick of all these crazy holidays, and we would go through it and try to find some fun things to do for our clients. We had hospitality clients, restaurant and all of that. And so I love that you're doing that for the Unicorn Day because it's not something that we think of. Like right now, we're in holiday parties and Santa photos everywhere, right?
Right.
Um,
Everyone's doing Santa or Grinch or even the, snowman, but I've done like Penguin Day promotions and all sorts because I love it's the Chase's directory, right? I used to live by that. The
I think so. Yeah, I was at a PR firm. I was like, "What is
Right.
that big book?"
But there are so many fun days out there because you also have to draw attention and you also want an event that's going to stand out.
100%.
So
Yep.
we want to start doing, we're doing the beer and biscuits competition. So that one is local treat biscuit bakers competing for the trophy of the best biscuit baker. And so that'll also be happening in 2024. And so we have craft brewers there. So it'll be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really love that. We did a Thanksgiving Day pet parade once because a client I was working with who was a pet retail store wanted to do Halloween and I was like, "No, it's oversaturated." I said there's like 10 Halloween parade costume contests every weekend in October. I said, "Let's do something." She got a lot of press. I helped her was doing her press and all of that, but it was so much fun. People came with their dogs dressed as like the full Thanksgiving table, mashed potatoes, like all of these things, turkeys. It was so much fun, and people came from all over because it was different. So you're gonna have that same thing with the unicorn. So tell me a little bit about the Halo Foundation. What is that you said you were on the board for?
So Halo Dog Foundation is to help those micro not-for-profits. I think one thing we learned after COVID is small business doesn't mean small business. Because
Right.
you had, $100 million companies competing against. So our focus is to help small businesses and not-for-profits who are primarily around $1 million or less in revenue, and help them with marketing. One of the other people on the board is a not-for-profit CPA. So just helping with those 990s and what do you need to know as a small, even a grassroots volunteer organization. A lot of times, simple things like ATC filings, 990s, those get overlooked. So we're here to do educational workshops, one-on-one training, and to help them with those types of things.
Wow, that's really incredible. I'll definitely have to take a look at that. I had not heard about that. I love that you guys do that. That's so important, and it's so true. A lot of the small businesses got left out or didn't get much, right? So very interesting. So for what advice would you give to a non-pet business watching about being pet friendly? I kind of hinted at that before.
All right. And I didn't pick up on the hint, did I? Really make sure your staff is trained on how to handle pets too, because the last thing you want to do is just have can I pet Fluffy? Because a lot of people want to take their pets everywhere without doing their homework and due diligence prior to that. So making sure your staff is aware on how to handle animals.
Yeah.
And knowing those types of things just to make sure everybody's safe in that environment. My number one.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice, right? Because then it's also hard because if we see a cute little fluffy dog and you want to go say hi, that dog might not be used to people coming over and saying hi. So it's just commonsensical. But us as humans loving dogs, it's hard to stop yourself in the moment of, can I say hi? That kind of thing. So
I've even myself been guilty of it.
I think everybody has, right? But the more you work with pets, the better you do. No, I have to say that's one thing that I notice more and more people ask, can I say hi to your dog than, ever before now. So it's great. So that's really cool. And so for pet businesses looking to host a pet friendly event, can you give them a few tips about hosting a pet friendly event?
Try not to do everything. I think that's one thing that people do is it just pick a fun theme, build around it, engage, pick good partners, and try to think through everything from the dog's perspective as well.
Yes.
So that's great. Human. Make sure there's some engagement and stuff for them on their level.
I love the not do everything, like pick one thing. It's such great advice. I think that this is so true for all of us because we always want to throw everything in the kitchen sink for an event. So that's really fantastic advice, right? Yeah. And it can be overwhelming for people and the pets coming to the event. They're like, what event is this? The unicorn, rainbow, donkey, dog, apple dunking. Yeah, one thing is really, really smart. Yeah. That's great advice. What would you tell pet parents that are bringing their pets to pet-friendly events? Any good tips for them?
Make sure that it's fun for everyone involved. I personally have had dogs that aren't good event dogs. They're just not. So make sure, because you've got to do what's right for them. You don't want them to be uncomfortable. You want them to be confident, enjoy, and come home tired and relaxed.
Yeah.
And that's great. Smaller events. Don't go to your biggest event the first time you take your pet to an event. Take them, if you like to do fun runs and walks, find the ones that list their attendance, or if you don't know, call and ask. I try to, in my newsletters, let people know what the attendance is at this event so they can gauge for themselves. Maybe start out where there be only 200 people and maybe 10 dogs. That might be the really great way to introduce your dog into an event. Don't take them to the big 10,000 with 1,000, 1,500 dogs. It's just not going to be an enjoyable experience for most animals.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. I had a dog that was not necessarily an event dog either, depending on the event. who he's behind me, who,
Oh,
liked going, but not as much as the dog that I have now. So I get dirty looks from my dog when I'm like, let's go, we gotta go. He never wants to leave. It's ridiculous. But that's such great advice because a lot of people, like you said, they just want to bring their dogs to every event, and it might not be, the best situation for that. So you're setting your dog up for failure, right? If you're
right.
doing that. So thank you for bringing that to their attention. It's very smart. So what challenges do you see with pet friendly events, if any?
I do think that because of the nature of animals and people and children, that when something goes wrong, it's going to go really wrong, and then it's going to hurt all of us. I think there are a lot of people who want to put on an event, but they don't think about what safeguards do I need to put into place. Do I have an event safety plan? Do I know where the nearest vets are? Do I have a vet on my coming to my event? How do I handle a dog bite? Where's my nearest ER? Just think through. I'm always, people see me in committee meetings and they're like, oh no, not her again. Because I'm always bringing up the gloom and doom. But because of the event's background, you have to think through what can go wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's, when I put on an event, it's not just for me, it's for the community, and it's not just for my event. Because if my event doesn't go well, it's a reflection on every other pet event. And it makes people want to exclude pets.
Yeah. That's fantastic advice. I agree with you with that. It's so smart to think ahead, and it's not about doom and gloom. It's about being prepared correctly, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, people will come with a dog. I was at an event once years ago. I may or may not have written an article about it. But and it was like a new doggy daycare boutique something, and they had a big area in the back, but the front area was somewhat small, and there was a person that brought their dog in. I don't remember. I think it was either a husky or a golden. I don't remember. It was, a bigger, fluffier dog that was just, the dog wasn't aggressive or doing anything really wrong. He was just overexcited and and the guy couldn't control it. And it was like knocking stuff over, and other dogs were getting in a frenzy. And I was like, all right, let's go. And I took my dog and I left because it was just too much commotion. And unfortunately, the owners didn't do anything to help. So that, they were new. So it was kind of like they didn't really know, So, but I just took myself out of the situation because it was getting a little too hairy, pun intended, fluffy in there. So I think that's such great advice.
Yeah. And another tip too, when you're planning that event, we're in the pet industry. We have friends who are dog trainers. Ask them, hey, maybe do a booth in exchange. Say, hey, will you be my bouncer as well?
Exactly. Yep.
Because pet trainers are used to training people.
100%. Right.
So that's really the conflict, because sometimes it's like people are embarrassed, like, oh, I didn't know my dog was going to handle, things like this.
Yeah, and you don't want new customers coming in to feel embarrassed. You want to give them kind and help and generous help, and that having a dog trainer there is such a great idea. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Like I said, it's not doom and gloom. You're just preparing to have a successful, uneventful event.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. So, what is the most meaningful thing that you do at Pet Friendly Fun to you?
To me, I think it's not just that human animal connection, it's the human to human connection. I think that's the fun, is just getting to know so many different people because of their animals. Because I have experienced more of my community and more people that I wouldn't have because of my dogs.
I love that. It's always true when we say we know the dog's names first, right? I love that. I love that. So what is unique or about Pet Friendly Fun or makes your business stand out?
I think right now, just that everything is sourced. It's not like we throw, you can get a lot of directory sites and things like that out that you don't know if they're legitimate or not.
Right.
So listings, we make sure that they're put on by a responsible organization, they're legitimately a business, those types of things.
I love that. Yeah, you have to. Or legitimately a nonprofit animal rescue too, right? You have to make sure of that as well. Yeah. I love that. So you're doing your due diligence, making sure that everything is correct and proper, and knowing the companies and everything that you're working with, that also reflects on you because people end up trusting everything that you're putting out there. So that's fantastic. I love that you take those extra steps because, like you said, anybody could put a directory together, but if you're not doing that work, what's the point?
Right. Right.
That's what I think. So what is the most important thing to you as a business owner?
The most important thing, or what I think, just loving what you do, and then making sure that you connect with the people who can help you with your weak spots, because absolutely, I know I have business weak spots.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received in your career? It could be for, the pet industry or before that.
Oh. I was just telling someone about this. This is more on the not-for-profit, but it also goes into business as well. I had attended a conference years ago, and he was talking about stewardship. So whether you buy a business or you take over on a board of a not-for-profit, the purpose, just to take that and add something to make it better so you can pass it on to the next person. So I just kind of liked that. It's that.
Yeah.
Knowing that because it's also accepting that you can't do everything you want to do, individually.
I love that. The stewardship of it. I love that. That's so cool. I'm taking it in as you're saying.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to somebody who is thinking of also hosting pet-friendly events or doing something similar in their state?
Knowing your state's rules. That's a big one, especially when it comes to health department. That's a lot of it when you're dealing with animals and having food vendors and things like that. And a lot of states have festival and events associations. So reach out to those because they can be the great people to get you through all the permitting and all the stuff that you need.
That's really great advice. And people might not even think about that. And just some of the legalese that may be hosting your own event, right? You might not think about all that legal stuff while you're throwing together an event. I think a lot more goes into hosting a successful, safe pet event than most people think. Like they just want to throw something together. But I think really like what you do, doing your due diligence really makes those events a lot more fun and safe, and people return to them year after year.
Thanks.
So is there anything that I didn't ask you about pet friendly fun that you'd like to add? Something fun that you have coming up besides unicorns?
And this one, yes, I do. Thank you for asking. So Tucson, it has huge other events too. Okay. Mine are just a component, but when I use the term dark horse, 2 years ago, our municipal shelter, the not-for-profit that supports it, Friends of PAC, came up with this awesome idea. It's Pets of Pima Parade. So this coming February 18th, 2014, they're taking over the historic 4th Avenue area for their 3rd annual. And what I was just blown away by this, having an events background. That first year, they pulled it together. They had dogs, goats, you name it. And they had, I want to say 1,500. Year 2, 30,000 spectators.
Holy crap. Wow.
So they've been doing a great job too of like attending some festivals.
Amazing.
And stuff like that. But I'm just so proud of them. And I just think if you're in the Tucson area, celebrate your pets, come on down to historic 4th Avenue in February because it's going to be awesome. And they're expecting at this growth rate, I'm not even sure what they're going to expect in 2024.
So it's a pet parade in the town. Is that what it is?
It's a pet parade, and I want to say they have like 1,000 entrants. And what's fun too, you have all sorts of different groups and organizations. We have a local mobility, prosthetic, agility swim course.
Yeah.
And they do a team. They've been 2 years in a row, #1 fundraising team for the not-for-profit. And they have mobility challenge pets. So you'll see pets in wheelchairs and orthotics and prosthetics and 3-legged dogs.
Yeah.
But then you have 4-H groups that have goats. And then we have the cosplay people. And it's just everyone loves pets. And so people bring their pets, pay a donation fee, and walk with their pets in the parade.
Wow, that sounds like so much fun. I think New York, we got to get it together and do something like that. That would be amazing. 30,000 people to watch. That goes back to your advice earlier. Like if your dog is going to be nervous in a big crowd. Maybe start them out small. Wow, that's really impressive. Congratulations to them. And
Yeah.
that it's helping the nonprofit that supports the municipal animal shelter. I'm sure that they are able to take those funds and really do a lot with what they do in supporting the shelter. So that's wonderful that the community comes out in that way. I'll be curious to know what the turnout is. You'll have to let me know after the event.
I will.
Do you go to that? Have you been to it?
Yep, I've been both years.
Are you like me and you still show up at every single pet event?
Pretty much. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's always too, usually I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. How come I didn't think of that? And that's the parade. I'm like, how did I not think of the parade?
Right, right. That's so funny. I'm always at every single event. There's even if I haven't been a vendor at an event in a while, like, the local events, but I always just show up. I try to support, but it's just always a lot of fun. You never know who you're going to meet. I love it. So that's really cool. So Dawn, where can people find you online?
Petfriendlyfun.com.
Okay. We will put that in the comment section. And listen, this has been a lot of fun. I told you your dog would tire himself out.
The last 4 minminutes, right?
Oh, no, it was like 10 minutes. It's all good. It's okay. We're talking about, he just wanted his presence to be heard.
That's right.
It's all good. Listen, that's what you got to expect if you go into pet-friendly events, right? You're going to hear some dogs barking. You might hear some dogs making some noise. It's all good. So listen, I am so impressed with everything that you're doing. I can't wait to hear more about what you're doing with drawing people into the state of Arizona to come as part of the tourism with their pets. You have to keep me posted on that because I think that's such a tremendous thing that you're doing with Pet Friendly Fun. And just always reach out if you ever want to let me know what's happening, because I think it's really cool what you do.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And thank you for having me. And thank you for having this organization. It is so wonderful to know that if I have a question, I can reach out. I can reach out to you, or I can reach out to another one of the members, because it's just such a good resource.
Well, thank you. And I'm so happy that you're part of it. And hopefully we'll see you soon. And hopefully get to meet you soon. I know we've missed each other at the last couple of Super Zoos because I was not there, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll be there next year and we'll get to meet each other in person. If not before then, you never know, right?
Right. Absolutely.
All right, Dawn. Well, listen, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and for everybody else watching, happy Thanksgiving. And thanks so much for tuning in. Dawn, I'm so happy that you came on today. It was so nice to chat with you. And everybody go check out petfriendlyfun.com. All right, bye.